We continue to see the video rendering process using a 2.1 frame approach. The difference in this video's workflow lies in the use of a for loop to segment and batch render the desired video content. The first batch of reference images uses the processed images we have prepared. For all subsequent batches, we use the pseudo frames from the previous batch as reference images for rendering. The possible issue lies in the connection between different batches. Then let's take a look at the workflow. I'm using the RunningHub online Confi runtime platform here. The process consists of two main parts. One part is our cycle, which has a beginning and an end. The other part is a redrawn version of the video from WAN2.1, and it includes reference images. We start from a familiar place, load up the model, large model, and the corresponding 3 encoding models to accelerate processing and prevent memory overflow. We use 4 nodes for amplification and then perform sampling. Decode, render in batches, then combine. This part of the process was discussed in detail in the previous video. We need to focus on the input items of the video conversion process in order to integrate it back into the for loop. Then there's the original video. For the original video, we need to load it in batches. The other one is a reference image. I still use the same process as before, extracting the first frame to perform precise style transfer. Navigate to RunHub AI or click the link in the introduction to register and get 120 points with an additional 100 points each day you log in. The corresponding AI workflow and one-click AI applications have been deployed online and can now be run and tested online. The third input box is our prompt text. Under the condition of strong control at 12 o'clock position 1, I think we can directly use reverse inference, as the dynamics will be controlled by our control video. So first, let's solve the first problem, how to load videos in batches. I use the load video node here to lock the batch size, with each batch containing 37 frames. That is 37 images. But if we lock it like this, we will only get the first set of 37 images each time. So I use frame skipping to convert it into input and connected a mathematical expression. So this mathematical expression multiplies 37 with our index, which starts counting from 0. So what does this connection mean? The first index is 0, 0 multiplied by 37. We skip 0 frames. Then we take our first batch of 37 images. Then the second index becomes 1. 1 multiplied by 37. We skip 37 frames to get our second batch of 37 images. So it follows the same logic, so it's still easy to understand. This part comes from the previous frame interpolation and scaling using the for loop. Just as there is a beginning, there must be an end ending at the batch point. I've looped it twice here. This is the result of the second batch. The first batch has already been stored in the batch folder. Finally, the two parts combine into one video segment. Why did I set it to 37? This number isn't just randomly given in KJ's process. For example, it should be 37 or 41, which is equivalent to 4 times n plus 1, or you can simply adjust it to take a specific value directly. I won't embed a mathematical expression here to avoid making the process more complicated and difficult to understand. The first issue was addressed in batches, with each batch progressing according to our sequence frames, and the problem was resolved. Now let's solve the second problem, how to use the last frame of the previous batch as the starting point for the next batch. Refer to the image, which can also be understood as the first frame of our next batch. A simple mathematical expression was also used here, which comes from the previous figure-to-video process with an unlimited time loop. Let's look at it specifically. First, we need to find out how many frames our output video has. Actually, we know it's 37, so a-1 equals 36. Then, as input for the following index, it will take our last image. Why is that? Since indexing starts at 0, after we retrieve our last image, this value 2 will directly jump from the invisible end to the starting value 2. As our next batch of reference images, it can also be considered the first frame. At the same time, I also use it as an input for backward calculation. So most of the time, this channel shares open source models and projects, but closed source models are where RunningHub really shines. He brought down the prices of many popular models, such as V2, Kling, and Wanxiang. Some specifications were even lower than the official published prices. The more you use it, the more you'll realize that saving up bit by bit really saves money in the long run.